Good evening, and welcome to the Mancunian Way. I am back. If you've not had 3 hours already of me, I'm back after an epic watch along. Mate, you don't want to get into these watch alongs. They drain you.
I look forward to watching it back. I'm not gonna lie.
They drain you. They drain you, especially mine. I get into it too much.
Oh, that's how you gotta be, man. If there was a camera on for all of us as fans, we'd have some crazy reactions.
No, I do them like I'm sat in my seat at the Etihad or in an away game. That's the way I am.
Every tackle, every miss, there's a reaction, of course.
When you watch it back and you see me on Stuart Atwell, yeah, I suppose we'll get into that anyway. How are you, mate? How are you doing?
I'm a lot better now. It was a roller coaster. I can't. Well, we'll get into it, but from anticipating what the starting lineup to be, to seeing the starting 11, to then seeing that first half and so on. Hey, this is why I enjoy this so much, because the emotions, all of them happen throughout a match.
Yeah. Good evening to everyone in the chat. It's lovely to see you all again. It really is. Just say some hellos, then we'll get going. Another win. Haaland, a machine. Nah, it's crap. Waste of money. Don't need him. Referee tonight was abysmal. I will get into that, Alec. Just like I said, going back and watch the watch along, and you'll see me having a good old rant at Mr. Atwell.
Deserving.
Thought he made a rod for his own back. Hey, how are you? Hope you're good, mate. Just been on Facebook in the break. The shit Jack gets is unbelievable. Yeah. I'm just glad he had the second half he did, because God knows what would have happened if he hadn't. I don't think he had that bad a first half, but listen.
We'll get into it. We'll get into it, because we.
Stephen, I couldn't find the goalie shirt because it's in the wash, but I will have it on for tomorrow evening. Good evening, Blue Art is with us. How are you, mate? Hope you are well. Can't believe people worried about a title race. No, we're going to get into it. A great job by Martin again tonight. Thank you. Happy birthday to you again, Buddy Duck. Happy 18th.
Happy birthday.
Hello, all. Haaland is a monster. Rich is with us. I think he's just got out of bed. Watch out. I think that's meant to be watch out, Kyle Walker. Oh, yes. We are going to get into it, because Kyle Walker looked very pissed off tonight during that game. And I think he means watch out, Kyle Walker, because there's a certain someone who may take his place. Big time.
All right. We'll get into that.
Oh, Vader don't agree. Vader's on the disagreement there. I like it.
Yeah, nah.
Stuart Atwell, yeah. Hello, everyone. He'll make it in the Prem, that Haaland fella. Yeah, just about. Just about. Thanks, guy. I'm going to bring Rich in. Here he comes. Good evening, Richard.
Good evening.
Good morning to you. Good morning.
Yep. It has been a good morning so far.
A very good morning. A very, very good morning. Right, let's get into what we always do here on the Mancunian Way. Team news. Now, as always, within the Manchester City community, there was a bit of a meltdown when the team went in again, because everyone went, what? No Kyle? What? No Cancelo? What? No Foden? And everyone was sort of like, what? It sort of amazed everyone. Vader, team for you. What were your initial thoughts when you saw that team roll out?
It wasn't our strongest 11 was my first reaction. And part of me is I'm not stressing out. And I said this, I went from not thinking about Arsenal. I went from not even looking in my rearview mirror to see where Arsenal was, to now seeing Arsenal ahead of me in the league, and they just continue winning. So that's at the back of my mind, like, you know what, we got to continue our winning ways. And now this challenger, or this person ahead of us, this team ahead of us, is Arsenal. So I had that in mind when I looked at the 11. And it wasn't the strongest 11. I often look at I always start by seeing who's in net, who's playing the defensive line. And I kind of accept, you know what, Pep's going to have a different 4 in that defensive line. So I kind of accept it for what it is. But when I see either Stones or Ake or, even we've seen a Kanji play at right back, I then realize there's not going to be much width or overlaps that are going to happen. So I kind of accept that when I look at the back four. But then when I look at the midfield and I see Rodri, Gundo, KDB, Rich, Martin, Gundogan, we've all had this conversation many times, right? We know what to expect from this midfield. And we typically will accept seeing that against a team that's going to play very deep, very defensive, and absorb pressure. So it's kind of okay. Against the Leeds, I did have my hesitation because they can break pretty quickly. And then the front three, it is what it is. It's going to be Mahrez, it's going to be Grealish, it's going to be Foden, it's going to be Palmer at times, but we know Haaland's always in that center. So that 11, I didn't really stress out too much, especially when I looked at the subs. I looked at who was on that bench, and I was like, okay, if things aren't working out, Pep can make those changes. So I didn't really stress too much. I was like, let me just watch how this first half goes. Let me look for a pattern to play and accept it for what it would be. I really had that approach with regards to this game.
Rich, give us yours. By the way, Andy, good evening, mate. How are you? Hope you are good. If you want to jump in, Andy, by all means, that invite is there. But Lewis had a few good games. Let's not get silly. Go on then, Rich.
Well, the one benefit of waking up 10 minutes before kickoff is you don't waste any time watching the meltdown or getting involved in the meltdown.
Rich? Are you telling me you're not dreaming or you're not having nightmares in your
No.
sleep for the match?
No, I was hit the pillow about 8 hours before, and suddenly my wrist is shaking with my alarm, and I'm waking up. So
Rich is a robot. He doesn't have any of this.
So I don't waste time or have time to worry about such things. Clearly, it was a team where if we were playing the Champions League final today, probably only 5 of that team would start in a preferred first 11 for City. So it was very weak. The only thing that worried me was Laporte not playing, partly because I think he's our best defender, and partly because we went in with 2 right-footed centre-backs, which Pep never does unless there's an emergency. So that did tell me that there's, Laporte might be carrying a bit of a knock or something. There was a bit of a concern about something because that was strange. Other than that, we took a chance to rest Bernardo and we got away with it. So any game we get 3 points without Bernardo is good because it means we've got Bernardo in a better state to play more games going forward. And I suspect, we'll see him against Everton. He'll probably play, we've got games like Chelsea coming up, so he'll be used a lot.
Yeah, but I've got to agree with Alec Johnson. Calvin Phillips has been on the best Weight Watchers diet I've ever seen, as someone told me in the watch along. How he's got down to that trim shape in about 4 days, God knows. I'd love to know what Pep would have a nightmare watching me play football. Tell you, if you thought Calvin Phillips was overweight, Jesus. He didn't look overweight when I saw him on that television. Stop laughing, you two. Stop it now.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, but no, it's pardon Blue Heart. Blue Heart's been dirty. Are we past the watershed? Yeah, we're all right. Rich, you're all right, mate.
It's not the watershed in Australia. It's
make
early
sure your
morning.
kids are watching, Rich.
Yeah.
Before we get into the game, I've got one word I want to say to you all, because this was the talk of everything, especially at the start of the watch long. Stop putting Iniesta. I saw a start because I thought I'll go and check this. I'll go and have a little check. He started after the Liverpool game. After the Liverpool game, he'd started one game, which was Brentford. Has that Liverpool game knocked all confidence out of Phil Foden, or is he just not doing something in training?
I don't know. I don't think it's knocked all confidence. I think we saw at the World Cup. He had some very tidy games, played very well. I don't know what's going on. For me, I don't see why Mahrez keeps getting picked, but
We'll
Yeah.
get into that, Rich. Vader,
yeah,
Phil Foden, is it just an overreaction by fans, or is it
I-
just he's
I wish I
he
could
can-
say.
Go on.
I honestly, I don't. I wish there was a rhyme or reason to his inconsistent starts or opportunities, because I, other than at the start of the season, there was a few times where I was irked by him not squaring the ball or him taking too many shot opportunities early in the season. I'm talking about really,
Yeah.
really early. But since I couldn't really have too much or really anything negative to say for him not to warrant a start. I don't know why he hasn't been shown consistently. But it's my whole thing is, I know that our squad has so much quality, so much talent from top to bottom. Is Pep choosing to get the players that haven't been as consistent enough runs to get the best out of them so that he can call on them later in the season, knowing that Foden is pretty much going to be ready for him whenever he needs? I don't know, but what was it? Almost a 75th minute? Was it that late in the game when Foden
Yeah.
actually got onto the pitch? So I don't know. I don't know what Pep's thinking out there.
It is what it is. I think we'll just have to take our time with Foden. I will admit, I think Andy's in it. So I think we forget he's still only young. I do think we forget that sometimes because he came on so young. Let's get into the game then. I actually thought City started quite well. Seen some people thought we were a bit lackadaisical and weren't. I honestly thought we started the game really, really well, actually. I thought
fairly dominant. I mean, we started the game with fast possession football. I think Leeds, when you play Leeds, they're going to be intense. But sorry, my daughter's just off
See,
shopping.
I told you, Blue Art. Stop it. I warned you.
They So I think Leeds are intense. Leeds run for everything. Leeds fight for everything. They're aggressive. They always tire. They're not a good second half side. Leeds, I think they often do too much at the beginning. So I think we did what we had to do, and we tried to get our feet on the ball, pass it quickly, move the ball around and put them on the back foot. And I think we did well first half. We didn't create as many chances as perhaps we could on target. There were
Yeah.
a lot of things that kind of fizzled at the end. Not helped by Jack Grealish wearing the boots that Darwin Núñez sent him for Christmas. I think
Ooh.
Haaland had them on as well, to be honest.
Oh,
But
Gundogan
I think,
had them on.
yeah,
Yeah.
Could give me
I think,
about 5
yeah,
players who had all them
yeah,
on tonight. Don't
yeah.
just pick out Jack.
I don't know why they all accepted the gift, to be honest. I think they should have sent them back to Liverpool. But, for whatever reason, they decided we're going to play, 3 Darwin Núñez's up front. But no, City started well. I mean, City played fairly, it's one of those games where City played pretty well the whole way through. The goal Leeds got was a good goal. I mean, you don't want to give a goal away from a set piece like that, but it was a good finish and a really good corner. And we didn't give away too many chances other than that Joe Galhart, Darwin Núñez finished near the end. We were solid. We should have scored 5, 6 at least. I mean, both Haaland missed a couple of chances he'd never normally miss. I think one of them, the easy one he missed, he actually tried to flick the ball and one of the controlling it with his foot. And when he actually took the shot, I think the ball was in a slightly different place than he was expecting it to be, because I think he thought he'd maneuvered it fractionally to the right. But you can't complain. And with such a, on paper, such a weakened side, we've often been guilty in previous seasons when we've taken out 5 or 6 of the first team of losing those games and playing really poorly. So for a 5 first team nailed on starters and 6 of the bench to play like that away at Leeds. You can't really complain.
No, and you can't. I mean, I've got to say, Vader. Was you a bit worried first half with the amount of chances we were missing? Before, obviously, the RODRI goal, was you thinking this is one of them nights here? Because Gundogan had missed an absolute blinder with that header. Grealish had probably missed the easiest chance he's ever going to get.
Yeah.
And he missed a couple.
Yeah.
Haaland looked like he didn't have a shooting boots on, which I think there's a reason for that. Because I think when you are not at the World Cup...
he didn't have his shooting boots on, did he? He had the ones that Nunes gave him.
Stop it then. Because I heard, like someone said earlier on, is I do think the players who come back from the World Cup are sharper than the ones who didn't go. And I think you saw that tonight in one or two of the players. To me, when I look at it, I only look at Kevin, who's come back with a bit of, come back ready. Straight away, all guns blazing. Mm-hmm. I look at Haaland, bit slow off the old intake, which is nothing bad. Gundogan, still not quite. And I think, and they've been at the World Cup. Gundogan was at the World Cup, but he's not. And I just think you've got to get that rust out of them, because training is not the same as playing games. No matter how much we try it, it's not.
Yeah.
It just isn't.
No, you're right. You're right. And same, looking at the start of that game, I saw, and I tweeted this, Ake gave a nice kind of like over-the-top ball that fell in between of the defenders, and Haaland ran onto it, and I was like, okay, they're up for this. I mean, Haaland didn't get the best hit of the ball, and I guess that was the theme for the day, because no one seemed to really strike the ball with get the right impact to put the keeper under some pressure. Grealish skying it, Gundo missing that header, and even I think maybe it was the second half, but I thought Gundogan missed as well, and Jack missed a couple, and Haaland missed one or two. So I was like, and me being Canadian and watching something similar in the World Cup with Canada not having their shooting boots and missing so many shots, I was like, oh, could this be one of those days? But I love the attempts. For me, it's let me see the attempts. Let me see the pattern of play. Let me see the opportunities being created. And
great point.
At the very least, I'm gonna ask these players to put the shots on target. If a few of my tweets was like, Grealish, you at least have to put that on net, make the keeper have to make a save. Haaland, you got to do the same. Things of that nature. Sorry, you were going to say something?
No, I think it's a great point you make, because for me as a fan, I get more worried when we're not creating those chances.
Yeah, definitely.
When we're sat there and we're not creating them, then you're going, right, what's going on here?
Grealish just needs to learn to kick a ball a foot or two out off the ground. I mean, trouble with Grealish is he looks up. Well, I don't know if he's trying too hard or he's trying to put everything in the top corner. Because you saw with that free kick De Bruyne put across to him, he was looking up. His whole body shape was putting it in the top corner. Whereas really, you get a ball like that, you just want to drill it. You got more chance scoring drilling it along the ground. Admittedly, there'd been a wall there or whatever, but you still got more chance drilling it than trying to, get it in the top corner. And so his whole body shape goes up like that.
So when I see,
sorry, go on, mate. Just
when I see, make your point.
No, go on, mate. Go on, mate.
Okay, when I see 5-6 changes, that's really what I'm paying attention to. I want to see how Rico moves within at right back and what Pep's going to ask of him. And again, we're watching him playing very inverted today. And again, I'm watching the same thing to see what spaces are Gundogan occupying. Where's KDB's? KDB having the free roam all over the pitch like we're accustomed to seeing. I do want to say this, and if we do get down the road and we're going to be criticized or talking about what we're seeing of this match in particular, and maybe it's because the opponent, I didn't see the legs from Gundogan that I think we're going to need from him when he does start. There were a few chances where I didn't see him run into space to be available for the ball, and I also didn't see him run back to at least put pressure for them not to break on us. And it's I mean, as a fan, you obviously you want your players always to be at the best, highest level, but I think I'm seeing that decline from Gundogan.
There's a lot of
thought in
people
this
say,
match.
well, like Merv Loving says, mate, I apologise about that. Gundogan is our forefather, Pep's first love. Does feel that way. I was listening to a podcast, I think I mentioned it on here a couple of weeks ago, is that Pep does seem to want to get Gundogan into this 11 at all costs, sort of thing. I think it was a time when Bernardo was going out onto the wing, and we were going, well, that's a bit weird. And it was always, when you actually sat down and analysed it, was to get Gundogan into that 11, because Gundogan can't play anywhere else other than midfield. You can't put him anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Bernardo, you can.
Yeah. For me, you're just going to, we just want to play Gundogan half the time. I think he's still mentally and in terms of his ability to not lose the ball, to get the ball on the half turn, to keep possession, everything else. I think Gundogan's still an exceptional player, but I think we lack legs when he plays with Rodri and De Bruyne. But I don't think Rodri. I think Gundogan's a 30, 40 game a season player now, not 65 games. So, for me, I'd be, giving both him and De Bruyne as well, giving them both every third game off. So you don't need to, 2/3 of the time, you don't need to play them together. You can give one of them a rest, and we need to be doing that a bit more.
You know what I'm seeing too? You know what I'm seeing too, though? I'm seeing that in all fairness, KDB's been giving that license like we've seen Messi have, where it's not like you're not really pressed to get back, right? Like I'm seeing we can't afford that. We can't afford that if Gundogan isn't going to be able to make those runs as well as KDB. Like that midfield's going to be a little off if we don't have a worker.
Yeah, I think that was maybe true today, but I think you see KDB get back a lot. You've seen earlier in the season KDB, being back whilst half the defence, probably Cancelo, Rodri, etc., still up front. So KDB does that work, but I just think we need to learn from previous seasons, which is that we end every season absolutely knackered. Normally, because we go on a brilliant run in December, January, about now, and I think we just need to make sure. And I think perhaps the reason we saw 5 or 6 of the first team not playing today was because maybe Pep's actually, maybe he's actually
managing the squad
better than he has in prior years, and maybe we aren't going to see us banging out the same first 11 in Jan and Feb, winning all the games. Maybe we are going to try and rest a few players, and I think it's great that we've now got a young player who gives us a chance to rest Walker. I think we've got 5 centre backs, so with injuries and things, we've got players to rest. But the worry has to be in that midfield where, Phillips might. We all hope to see the Phillips we signed. We all hope to see Phillips come in and ease that load. But at the moment, we're still looking at KDB, Gundogan, Bernardo, and Rodri filling 3 slots every game. And and as they get older, that is 2 30-plus-year-olds. That is hard. So we really need Phillips to come in and give Rodri a rest. Also give Bernardo a chance because Phillips could play, in that slightly more forward role. We need that because we want to get into April and May with those players at their best. Not fatigued, not like not just as happened to Liverpool last season. Liverpool ended the season just looking like they'd played 60 minutes before every game started. Against Madrid, you thought that Madrid came out at the start of the game and Liverpool came out after 90 minutes. And City have got to deal with that because if we want to win the Champions League, we're going to have to beat fresher teams. If we want to charge through the league this year and not have any risk from Newcastle or Arsenal, we've got to be strong at the end because we're going to be playing Spurs and Arsenal, all these teams in the last month of the season. So we've got to end strong.
It's a Premier League post-match race. Let's leave Champions League till February.
Yeah, no, but we've got to end strong. We've got to end strong.
Do you know what? Like people are saying in the comments, Gundogan has got the ability. It's just sadly he's at the wrong age. But that turn, I think it was on the third goal,
Oh
was
no,
just
yeah, it was beautiful.
exceptional. And you can see parts in game why he is there. Because he brings something. And like you said about that, I mean, Rodri tonight, that was, I mean, I know people are going to say, well, rest him because Phillips. I don't want Rodri rested when he's playing like that. I don't want Rodri on the bench when he's doing that.
I know you
Rodri
don't. I know you don't. But
was
we've
in
seen Rodri
wonder
with
tonight.
heavy legs. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but we don't want Rodri being dropped in April because he's
Yeah, we don't
finished.
want
I
Rodri
know,
with heavy
Rich,
legs.
but when I see Rodri there, and listen, the guy looks like he's got the flu. He needed a bit of Vicks vapor rub halfway through that game with his nose dripping the way it was. The guy was an absolute man mountain today. I mean, of all the, I mean, we'll get into the goals. The first goal, do you know what? I kind of knew it was going to be something like that because Meisler, to his credit, had stopped most things. I know a lot of them were at him, but he'd still done well to keep us at bay. And you just kind of knew it was going to be a deflection or saved off him and bounced out.
Yeah.
And normally you get a Rodri rocket. It was more like a Rodri sloppy that sort of just went in the goal. And I don't mind him because I thought that killed Leeds completely. I don't think Leeds were really in the game, if I'm honest, until they got to 3-0 down.
Well,
then I
mentally,
think they thought, we'll have a game.
Mentally, it's huge. Is damaging because they fought that first half. You know, right? They did their best. Keeper was playing exceptionally well, keeping everything out, and just before that halftime whistle, they concede. So, and the way that happened was just everyone playing to the very last minute. That's why I love the goal because it's the end of the first half, but everyone's playing to the very last blow the whistle, and that's how that opportunity came through. So absolutely huge. And I want to go back to the Gundogan and that turn. I'm screaming at the TV. I'm screaming at the TV because I see Gundogan take those pockets, and whether it's a ball from Rodri, sometimes it's a ball from Lewis today, or even Ake, I'm like, just get it to him. He'll turn and square up and face and then attack. And we kind of missed out on it. But the quality that Gundogan have, no, never question that. Never.
No. Patrick's in the chat. Go and give True City fan a lot of love as well. Some great stuff. Like I said, Billy's there, man, but legs are going. Remember David Silva. Man City for Life says, I still don't see the point of Calvin Phillips. Bit harsh. Rodri is younger. I think we forget that sometimes. I think we do actually forget that.
No, but he needs relief.
It's quite simple. There's 67, 70 games in a season. And
don't shout at me. I didn't write the comment.
Rodri cannot, Rodri shouldn't be playing more than the high 40s of those games because he does fatigue. So, and Rodri needs to, and some games, if it's a hard game, he needs to come off for 20 minutes. I mean, you can't go into a season. You can't go into season without a player as important as Rodri being backed up by someone.
No, it is a great point.
And Rodri could get injured. He could go and do an ACL and be out for the season. I mean, that's the thing. You cannot. Well, I'm not, but I'm just saying you cannot go into a Premier League season without backup to an important player.
Get me Xanax, lads. Get me Xanax.
And
if you watch Phoenix Nights, you know where that's from.
Yeah.
I want to say this because unfortunately I do have to bounce. Because time with family is very calming, and this is dinner time out here for me. But you can see, guys, the Grays are coming through. Some of these results, some of these matches are stressing me. But I love the result that we had tonight. I love the show. I'm gonna tune in and listen. And City, 3 points. 3 points. We do what we got to do. I'll be with the next
I appreciate your time, Better. Go and give Better Games TV a lot of love. I tell you what, he's spot on. I appreciate any guests who come on, especially this time of year, because you are coming away for your families. I'm nagging you. I do apologize.
Easy 3 points, Fater.
Easy.
3 points.
Well, go and give Better Games TV.
Easy, but
go and give
You can't get grey hairs from that. Yeah, seriously, you could have lived through the City in the 90s. That's great. Gives you grey
Oh, that's
hairs.
right. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fair. Fair
I'd
enough.
grey
We're
hairs
not
as
talking. No, Rich, I'm not
We
talking about us and them
we will
anymore.
at
No, I'm
another
not
time
doing
for
the
sure.
then and now. Not doing
a
it.
yeah, I had grey hairs in 1982.
Take care. Hey, Vader, join us tomorrow if you want the Everton
Smash the
preview.
like, guys.
Should be a good
We'll
one.
do.
Take care, mate. Right, Rich. Second half. Obviously, we go in. Goal up. Well deserved. Don't think any Leeds fan could actually say it was unjustified because Leeds hadn't laid a glove on us. Edison had gone for a cup of tea and a sandwich. I don't know
Yeah,
what Edison was doing
I've
first.
forgotten he was playing.
Edison was more bothered about his blonde streaks, his new blonde streaks in his hair than what he was about the game. I mean, Andy's put here, Gundo didn't have his best game. We definitely controls many games. Modric, that's a great analysis, that Modric. It really is. Andy, like I said, if you want to come and join us, more than welcome, mate. Maybe that's why Foden is ready to prevent burnout. Yeah, my only question on Foden was because it was happening before the World Cup. Then he played in the World Cup, then he didn't. And that's, but when I saw Foden come on tonight, I think he needs to give that little bit more than what he's giving at times. And I think he's young and he's got to learn. I don't think any player should be treated with any preferential treatment unless you're called Erling Haaland or KDB. Remember Martin Pep benched Rodri in the finals. That is a great. You've said that, Rich.
Yeah, I think that cost us the Champions League. That we basically changed the way we played in the last 3 weeks. We changed the way we're playing in the last 3 weeks of that season. Blew a semi-final, blew a Champions League, and it was because we burnt Rodri out. And yeah, maybe he's stronger, he's older, he's fitter now, and that won't happen again. But that's made me worried ever since.
Calvin Phillips is a spot on. True, Pat, if you want to, I can bang you a link over there, mate. Just bear with me. Go on, Rich, talk to him while I just bang Pat A.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that I think that's why Phillips will come in. I think Phillips will also be something different to Rodri in some games, in that Phillips is a bit more of an energetic player. You know, his passing is slightly different. He's a bit more of a, a bit more of a closer to that kind of De Jong way, whereas Rodri's your Gareth Barry. He plays in the head a lot. So I think Phillips will be good. I think Phillips in some games will be, possibly a better alternative to Rodri, in certain times. And I think also, there will be times when, we're 2 minutes away from a Champions League final where having, taking off a Mahrez and bringing on a Phillips to shore up the team will be a good thing as well. So I think there's a whole lot of reasons why Phillips will be a good signing. And I think, the funny thing with footballers is when he's overweight, it's probably £3, £4. He'll have a target weight within a kilo or two from the City medics, and he'll have been over that, and he'll have got shit for it. Mahrez was what, 2 or 3 kilos over.
Can I just say,
yeah, De Bruyne has in the past as well come back.
That's good point. De Bruyne's had issues with weight.
Yeah, and he hasn't been called out by Pep for it.
No, because he hasn't got the bollocks to do that.
He's the one who's got away with it.
Before I bring Pat in, true City fan, Edison's blue strip is the reason I bought it, because it's one sexy kit. I did treat myself to that. Thank you very much. Anyway, here's Pat. How are you doing, mate? True City fan, how are you doing?
I'm good. How you doing, Rich and Martin? How you doing?
Good. Good.
Like same as Rodri and Phillips. I come in as Phillips. Rodri that has gone. This is what's going to happen.
You know what? It's quite scary. No other team in Europe can sit there and go, they've got Rodri and then they've got Calvin Phillips to come in as a number two. Or no other team can say that.
I think that's the thing. I'm surprised. Look. The whole weight thing. Yes, Pep does that. He did that to Aguero When Aguero came, I think he was supposed to be 80, then he came at 100. He did that to Aguero. He's not fit enough. He went like this to Aguero and said that he's coming a bit bigger. But people should remember this. I was talking about Martin. I was talking about that game. I don't know, Rich, if you remember. We were playing against Chelsea in one of the games, and we were being outrun in midfield. And then he brought in Phillips and Bernardo Silva. The game changed. Mount wasn't running through us anymore. People should remember that. I think the reason why they bought Phillips is because he's coming from a Bielsa team where he's physical, he can run, and Rodri is smart. Yes, he gets physical. Recently, he started getting more physical, but Phillips is faster. He's faster, more suited. And I think you're right, Rich, that there's a time where in the Champions League, you've seen that we've been around in midfield, especially when Camavinga and Tchouameni were put in the Madrid game. When Fernandinho was put in that game, I think we made a big mistake because he was just being outrun. Now look at Phillips. Imagine Phillips in that midfield with Bernardo Silva. So people should appreciate Phillips. And I know people are saying he's 27 and Rodri is younger than him. That doesn't matter. Trust me. Don't forget what was the age that Fernandinho joined City. If people remember the age he joined City, tell me when Fernandinho joined City, he was already in his 28, 29. So these people can go on for long. So, yeah.
Hopefully, we'll teach Phillips to tactically foul like Fernandinho. You know, I think that's what
Rich.
yeah.
Did you see Rodri today? He was pretending as if somebody.
If you want tactical fouls, have a chat with Leeds United.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I don't. I'm going to mention this now before I go on to Rico and Grealish and Haaland, but Stuart Atwell lost that game for me for two reasons. I said 25 minutes into the watch along, and I said Stuart Atwell's in very, very dangerous territory of losing control later on in the game because he was letting far too many things go.
Yeah,
and it just happened. You could see it coming because Leeds were just going. I mean, Jack Grealish, for all his faults, how that guy does not come off with two broken legs, I do not know.
The cuff must be the cuffs, maybe because the cuffs.
Yeah,
but they go through the back,
I know.
and then the first person he books, I'm sure, was Rico.
Yeah,
they did. Yeah,
That was me. I'm like, what?
That was the funniest booking ever. Rico gave him a little shove, and then Rico dived 3.5 feet in the air like that, as if he'd been fouled from behind, and then got up and looked like he'd been playing.
That's how it is though for City. You've noticed that sometimes the refs don't really want to give us anything. They want to make it like it's as if they want to make it a fair game. So they try their best to make they don't call for City because you must look at this. The other guy who tackled Jack, right? He tackles him badly, and guess what he does? He pats him on the head and smiles and walk away. So he did it purposely. Like they were doing it purposely because they were after him, and there's two of them who went after him, and he actually pat him on the head and then touched his hair like this, sort of to say, "It was just I was doing it purposely." So I don't get the ref what he was after. I think if he was harsher, Leeds United we're not gonna be getting away with most of it. And the Rico thing, you're right. But can I just say, Lewis? My God, I knew it as soon as I said this kid was a captain for the under-18s at the age of 16. You can tell that this kid has got some massive kaonas. Like he's 18 and he's pointing at Akanji, telling him where to stand. And then he's pointing at him.
Rollicking him.
Yeah, stay on that side. Because Akanji was having stinkers in a few of the moments. And Rico was coming back and telling him that, what are you doing? Can you imagine?
I think that's what I see in Rico, which makes me optimistic.
I laughed at that. Sorry, I laughed my head off at that bit. Did you see Grealish pointing at him? Who are you?
Yeah.
You were like,
but he has to be careful.
Did you see Jack? He went like this. He was like,
he needs to be. He'll he did that to bloody Almiron and he became good, so we need to be careful.
Jack needs to stop doing that.
Yeah, but that kid, there's potential. You can tell that Leeds United kid. He's very dangerous. He keeps running at you. He's very dangerous. But come on, that was funny. I was laughing because for a minute I was looking away, talking to my daughter. Then I looked on the little fellas.
If you were though playing Jack Grealish, you'd want to kick him. I mean, if I was defending against Jack Grealish, I was going to call him Crack Jesus or something. Then, but anyway, Crack Jesus. If I was defending against Crack Jesus, then I would definitely kick him. because he goes around smiling with his hair and his big calves, and
He is
he's
arrogant.
always
You do
he's
want to
always
slap him.
whispering.
Yeah.
He's non-stop on the wind-up. He's always whispering. He goes up to people and he whispers offensive stuff in their ear.
I
No,
remember
sweet
the
nothings.
Atletico game.
Like he clearly.
Your
is
man.
winding
Remember the
man was
Atletico game?
pissed off.
He
Yeah, man
wound
was
Savage
pissed
up.
off, yeah.
He got into Savage's head and he went, I'm having this. I'm having this. Do you know what, though? I know we went, but like you said about Rico, do you know what I liked about him tonight?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
And he did the same for Liverpool. He plays as a second number 6.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
If you look, Stones rolls out to right back
Yeah.
to cover him, and he comes in as like a 6 to allow Rodri to go further forward. And that's what I always thought about Rodri. I thought, when Rodri goes, there's no one to cover him. So then he's out of place. And if you look, go back, especially to a lot of games last season, especially the Villa game away, the Villa game at home, remember the final game. One of them was done because Rodri just went, lost his man, the space was there.
Yeah, it did.
All over the top.
But that means we can't play Rico with Cancelo though. It means if Rico plays,
you can't.
We're going to have to be playing Ake.
Do you know what though, Rich? This is going to go down like a lead balloon with some people. I thought Grealish, Rico, and a lot of others look better without Cancelo in it.
Well, I mean, you didn't have any real worry from Ake today. I didn't notice Ake that much.
Ake was immense.
Yeah,
because he's not making mistakes these days.
Yeah,
he's not making mistakes.
But he was almost like, not invisible in a bad way, but he was almost invisible that he just didn't look any bother in that. And because you've then got Ake, Akanji, and Stones, who are 3 centre backs as proper defenders, Rico can go up. And then Rico is much more. It's getting back to that Fabian Delph way he played. Quite a bit for City. He played that going from fullback into number 6. Whereas Cancelo plays going from fullback into number 10. And so it doesn't, when Cancelo leaves us with 3 at the back, it's very far forward and Rodri has to stay. Whereas when Lewis came in, and the same with when Delph came in like that, Fernandinho could go up. Because Delph was there. And Rico gives us a new tactical option.
Just give me 1 minute. I'm going to come
You know what I've noticed, Rich? I've just remembered something you've said. There's setups in our City team that suit everybody. Every setup, Martin, if you've noticed, suits somebody. So, Rich, I can give you a setup that has suited Cancelo, where Cancelo was a star and a darling and everybody loved him. Because I've noticed that when Walker was fit, and Walker was in the back covering everybody's load, when everybody's out of position, Cancelo was looking like a star because Cancelo, I think, was told by Pep, you're free. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're free to jump wherever you want. And that's the best Cancelo I've ever seen. Look at that Newcastle game where he went through and then scored that beautiful goal. Every time I've noticed that they tell him that you're free. But I think it's when he's told that you also have to defend. I think it's where things go a bit. But when he's told that you're free, because if you look at Cancelo, I think he's very skilled. He's done that role where he tucks in very well. He doesn't tuck in as good as Lewis. I don't want to get, I know people will be like, you're getting excited with Lewis. What I have seen in Lewis is the reason why Pep played him today. Let's not forget he benched Walker and Cancelo, who are fit, by the way. I just found out they are fit. They were not injured. I think it's this thing. Somebody said it, I think, don't smoke, Martin, that I think he's giving instructions to people. Pep likes instructions. If he gives instructions, you have to execute them. Lewis, I used to watch him in the academy, where I didn't really know that this is how far he can go. So Pep has picked something in training. Lewis given instructions, he's doing exactly what you're supposed to do when you tuck in. The tucking in that Walker was failing to do against St. Maximum. Remember when St. Maximum, oh my God, ripped Walker apart for tucking in, while Lewis managed to tuck in.
That was
I know.
but hang out and fullbacks to dry in that.
I know, but what I'm trying to say, Martin, is I think Pep is enjoying Lewis because Lewis somehow, I don't know how he's doing it. He's been aggressive. He's been fast. When he has to go to the right back position to defend, he's going there. You find him. He's there helping center backs. He's also helping RODRI. He's also in front doing 1-2s with De Bruyne. I'm sorry, this Lewis kid. I know, Martin, you and me always say we have to be careful. But I'm enjoying the fact that it's not only Palmer that has come out. I'm also going to talk about Palmer. Lewis comes out just out of nowhere.
I still think we've got to Because McLovin said earlier, would you start him in a Champions League final?
No, let's not get excited.
I think we've got to still calm on him because I think he's going quicker than he did with Phil.
Yeah.
If you remember, Phil was scoring. I always remember that Tottenham game at home when we won the league. Remember it when Foden scored and beat Tottenham?
Yeah, they had assisted by Aguero. Yeah,
and then he was still out the team. And but Pep said,
he's a very Lewis is. I think Lewis has two things that, for me, may stand him out from some of the other kids. One, I think he's very tactically astute, and that is what Pep said about him. He listens to instructions and he does everything. And I also think he's got an old head on young shoulders. You know, if you watch him going, watched him go up against Salah, when he was, up against him, or watch him trying to buy a penalty off Andy Robertson. He's going up against one of the best sides in the world.
I know.
And some of their best players, and he's not overawed. He's not treating them any differently to how he'd treat one of the other kids playing in an EDS game. So I think he's got a lot of maturity. But let's be quite honest here. I don't know if any of you read this, but L'Équipe named their best team in the world of 2022, and L'Équipe is one of the best football publications out there, and they named Kyle Walker as the best right back in world football. And that will be influenced by France and the fact that Kyle Walker plays Mbappe better than anyone else we've seen. But Kyle Walker is a world-class fullback. He is the best fullback in the Premier League, I would say, over the last 5 seasons, certainly over the Pep era. And he's a phenomenal player. And if he's fit and mentally in shape, he's always going to start a massive game. Not Rico Lewis, but the fact that we now have a player who can allow us to rest Walker and not overplay Walker and not get Walker injured, because Walker's injury, you could say RODRI, cost us the Chelsea Champions League when he lost his form. I think it's fair to say Walker getting injured and Walker's fitness last season cost us against Madrid. Madrid didn't get a looking down his flank when he was on the pitch. He comes off and they scored about 15 goals. So I think we've got to remember how important Walker is. But what Lewis does give us now is the opportunity to rest Walker.
Yes, and, that's key, Rich.
Yeah.
And saves us money. Because right now, for me, we don't need to go. If we're careful and we do this correctly and properly, we don't have to go and buy a fullback when Walker when Walker has to retire or leave to go back to Sheffield, wherever he wants to end his career.
Yeah.
We don't have to go and spend 40, 50 million on a new right back.
Yeah.
But
thank you.
To say Rico's now our number 1 right back, I think it's too soon.
It's too soon. It's too soon.
Yeah. You still got to let the guy, because
Rico would have to be the best
right back in a Champions League final tomorrow.
Rico would have to be the best right back in the world to keep Kyle Walker out of the team. It's that simple. So we don't need to get into nonsense. But Walker has struggled for fitness the last 2 years, so he probably does need a bit more time off. When he gets a niggle, we need to say, right, you've got 2 weeks to get rid of that niggle so that you're in top shape. And now
was the problem.
The one mistake we cannot make, though, is I really hope Pep doesn't do this. Don't start Cancelo and Lewis in the same game, because I think if we do, that would expose Lewis, and that could give him a real kick in defensively. And honestly, I would, if I was City's management now, I'd probably be looking at signing a new left back and moving Cancelo up the pitch. I think we'd be far better off using Cancelo further up the pitch if we're gonna,
that has been my dream, Rich. That has been my dream. When he put the number 7, I was like, finally.
Yeah.
Instead of
I'd like to. He could have played instead of Matt. He could have played instead of Riyad today. You could have played.
I knew you were going there.
Oh no, okay, Martin. Let's ask you: if you put Cancelo as a right wing, which he used to play at Valencia and other clubs, do you think Cancelo would not be breaking down the fullback? Cancelo, he does it before.
Do you know what annoyed me today? And I said it in the watch along. I explained. Anyone who watched me in the watch along saw how frustrated I got. because I saw John Stones going up, carrying the ball forward and carrying the ball. And the next minute, I look up and Riyad Mahrez is stood next to him, nearly holding his hand.
That was
If I'm John Stones, I'm telling Mahrez, get your ass up. Don't stand next to me when I get the ball, sunshine. You're my winger, move. I don't want Mahrez stood next to me fullback or my defender, bringing the ball forward, and Mahrez wants to hold his hand. That's no good to me.
What
A
happened to
3-yard
Mahrez,
pass to Mahrez is no good. As I
What
said,
happened to him, though?
there's a lot of give. There ain't no go in Mahrez. I want to see the go part. I don't want to see the give. I want the go. There ain't no bloody go in the fella. That's what bugs me at the minute.
And I think you know, I could see Cancelo, you know, coming on, you know, today. I think I'd have left Lewis on and given Gundogan a rest and chucked Cancelo up in, you know, number 8 or something.
You're not having this, are you, with Mahrez?
It just I
He
just
would,
think
though. Rich is right. Cancelo would do a lot of damage. He does damage already. Have you noticed him, Rich? Whenever he goes 1v1 with a fullback, you can see the fullback's face like, oh my god, not this guy. And he always skins the fullback. And can I say something also? And Martin, I know you know that I always get excited, but can I say this? And I you know I love Riyad Mahrez. I've made videos about him. I have videos about Mahrez. And when he won the AFCON, he was one of the best Mahrez ever. When he took us to the Champions League final, he scored in the Champions League against Madrid, and that could have been a goal to take us to the final again before we turned into bottom wonders. But anyway, Palmer, Rich, and Martin, I'm gonna say this: Palmer's cameos are way better. I'm gonna say it. I know I'm gonna get stick. Algerians, I know, have the pitchforks ready for me. Palmer's cameos have been way better than our wingers this season. Palmer, there's something about Palmer. There's something like he doesn't care and he's not scared. He goes after his fullback.
One exception is I think Alvarez's cameos.
That's what I was about to say.
Better than Palmer's, and I think ultimately when Alvarez comes back,
he's jumping in.
I think we're going to play. In my ideal City team, it's Foden, Alvarez, Haaland. You know, sorry, Jack, you got 2 assists, but I'm starting
to put question marks on Foden too in the recent games.
Yeah, but I just think that, especially when we get late in the Champions League, the Champions League is where I think Gabriel Jesus was at his absolute best.
Thank you.
I think that is where we get more space. His energy, his pressing, his running, his movement was important. And I think we're going to need Alvarez when we get far in the Champions League.
It's
Alvarez.
It's not happening.
Alvarez running. Alvarez will be playing.
Andy knows exactly why I'm laughing. Anyone remembers the old channel that me and Andy did?
Was there Mahrez Fiesta in the channel?
Me and Andy ended up on Algerian television due to a fan cam that we did.
Did you?
Mahrez off. I'm not going. Yeah, we ended up on Algerian TV.
Oh,
I don't know why we ended up on Algerian TV. You were not happy with me, Orlando, because we said some Mahrez slander, and it didn't go down very well. We did a fan cam outside the Etihad, and someone who we worked with did the Mahrez out or Mahrez had enough, and I went in on Mahrez, and my face and Andy, we ended up on this Algerian news site. I don't even have a clue how or why we ended up there.
You can't.
I'm not allowed to slag Mahrez off anymore.
Let me give you a warning as an African. 3 African players right now, don't ever go after them. Is Sadio Mane. Obviously, nobody ever goes after Sadio Mane. It's fine, but never go after Salah and never go after Riyad Mahrez in their countries. My God, you can't even say one word. I think you're going to
Andy knows. Look, Andy knows. They love us. I don't even know. I blame Andy why I ended up on Algerian TV. I don't know what that was all about. I just got sent a WhatsApp with this. We're on air. Why? Because of what we said about Mahrez. Okay. Yeah. So I love Riyad Mahrez. He's amazing. Keep hitting that like button. Jack Grealish. Right. People think I'm gonna get stick for this. I don't think he was bad first half.
Oh.
And listen to me on this one before I've got a reason. Do you know when you see a guy trying too hard? I think that's where we're at with Grealish. I looked at him second half, and I've always said it, he went more central if you look. The 2 assists he got, especially the first one, was a central position. To me, that's Grealish's natural position. Not this left wing nonsense that we're doing right now. The guy should be in the middle. I know why he can't get in there at the minute. I know why. But for me, that is his best position because he does what he did the second half. He chases balls that are like lost causes. He will cause... Imagine Grealish doing them runs through the middle. KDB'd have a field day on them free kicks. Field day. And I just think, sadly for Jack, he's in a situation where it's a square peg in a round hole for him. And then
I
you
think
look
that's some of that. He needs space as well. I mean, I think, when he is being marked by 2 players or he's been pinned out on the wing or he's tight, he's not his best. He's looked best for City whenever we've had games where there's been space. And that means either we've been up by a couple and the other team's going for it, or we're playing a game, against an opponent who doesn't have quite the same respect for us that some sides do. But against the low press, he doesn't really add, I don't think, hugely to our options. But when he gets space, and against Leeds second half that happened, then he's a much better player because he's got pitch to run at, he's got players to run at, he's got space to think and do something, creative. But he is lacking a bit of confidence. Needs to learn to kick the ball low, not have to try and, he's been a bit too much time with Johnny Wilkinson, learning how to, get the ball up quickly. Yeah. So he needs to get back to a bit of football coaching.
Do you think he looks like he's won a competition at times?
No.
And what I mean by that is, he looks to me like he's won a starting place at Manchester City, and he doesn't feel as though he belongs.
Yeah.
There's elements to that, but
he's like he's starstruck at times.
I was gobsmacked this game, honestly, and hello Algerian television, but
don't you start.
In the first half, in the first half of the game, I would have given Grealish a 5 out of 10 first half. I don't think he was terrible. He wasn't.
Can I ask why?
Great. Because there really was not much end product. He got the ball.
He was getting kicked.
Passed it back. Yeah. And that's why he got 5 for the amount of,
fouls he drew.
Pulling their players out, the fouls and everything.
What did you give Gundogan?
I'd have given Gundogan about a 6.
This is what. Here's my issue with Grealish.
Because generally, Gundogan progressed the game forwards. Grealish a lot brought the game backwards. Yeah. But I'd have given Mahrez about a 2.
That's what I mean.
I don't think we should be talking about Jack Grealish. We should.
Here comes Algerian TV. Here comes Algerian TV part 2.
I see Jack's misses, and everyone, it's the fan. Everyone. Jack this, Jack that. Gundogan missed chances. Haaland missed chances. Everyone was missing chances first half, but only one person got
I can give you an answer.
Riyad missed a chance. Riyad missed a chance that Jack came up for.
Credit in the bank, though, Martin. That's the issue. Let me explain to you, Martin. This is what Jack is in. You're right about this. He's starstruck, and I think he doesn't. It's as if he doesn't want. He only takes over the game in few moments. Because I have seen him while De Bruyne is on the pitch, Gundo is on the pitch. I've seen him not really want to take the game. But when De Bruyne and Gundo, Bernardo are gone, and he's got Foden, like in those cup games, he takes over the game. Remember the Chelsea game? He took it. He took it over. It was him. Jack wanted the ball. Jack got the ball. He
went more middle again.
That's what I'm saying. But the thing is, why he's getting harsh treatment, I think, for most of the fans is I'm gonna be honest, straightforward. First of all, I think it's the price tag, which is not his fault. It's City who paid the
Bingo.
price tag. Number two, do you know what it is? Mahrez, as much as people say a lot, or we say a lot about him, his credit in the bank is Riyad Mahrez was ripping apart for us for a moment. We were Riyad Mahrez. Oh my God! Remember he came from AFCON and he didn't want to rest. He played
Against
Champions League because
PSG,
the final.
and
Yeah,
Real
then,
Madrid. Right, I'll give you that. Yeah.
Don't forget Gundogan. What can we say? Gundo carried us when De Bruyne was injured. Gundo played DM when Fernandinho was injured. Gundo was the guy who scored the goal against Aston Villa to win us the game. So whenever they do this, that's why they're pardoned a bit. Now, somebody in a space, Rachel was arguing with me, was like, why are you going on Grealish? Why don't you go on Haaland's misses? Somebody said, my God, don't you dare. This man is on 18 goals. So that's the issue. There's a lot of credit for other people. And I think, like right now, those 2 assists Grealish does, if he plays few games, let's say gets like 10 assists, I'm telling you, there's going to be a shush. There's going to be a shush now. I think it's just a matter of people want him to do good so badly because don't forget, we were his lawyers, Martin, last season. We were his lawyers saying, don't you dare say anything. He needs a season at City, like Bernardo Silva, like Riyad Mahrez, like others, for him to be able to do great. So right now, I think it's going to the point where people just want him to do something so that when we go to that court, we have something to talk about. But you know what? Fair play to him because I ripped him apart for the first half on his space. I was done, Rich. I said no. After he missed
I look at his celebration. He celebrated that Haaland first goal more than Haaland celebrated the damn.
Because he knows.
You see the release out of it.
Because he knows.
And then he got the biggest hug ever off Pep when he come off. I know you've only got 5, just under 10 minutes, Rich.
Yeah.
Let's move to Erling Haaland. 20 league goals in 14 Premier League games. Brand new record in the Premier League. 45 goals in 42 games in a calendar year of 2022. 45 and 42.
Yeah.
This is Erling Haaland who has not been to a World Cup, is a little bit rusty. Could have had 4 today quite easily.
Should have had 4. He will have gone.
Will he break the record?
Definitely.
If he doesn't get injured, I mean, he is carrying that.
I shouldn't have asked that. I've just
Pep talked about this at length this week, and he's carrying an injury.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
he's carrying a foot injury. So at the moment,
Haaland.
He played 90 minutes slow today.
Yeah,
but his foot is getting better.
Yeah, it's more pain than stopping him do anything. But he's in pain. He's got a ligament issue in his foot, and he's
so that foul in the second half wouldn't have helped then when he got.
No, I mean, it depends if it was the same foot. I'm not sure, but he's saying he's playing. He's had a bit of a rest. He's not up to match pace. He's carrying a bit of an injury.
No.
So and
60
he's
a season.
2 goals. Yeah, I think
He's got 25.
Martin, overall, he went to 90. Messi went to 90 overall.
Well, he's got 25 goals now.
No. I don't know.
We're not even in January.
Martin, that Messi season was crazy. The guy was banging 4 or 5 in a game. And
I'm with Andy, though. He's average, misses far too many chances. Bang average.
Yeah. I mean, Nunes might have got that one-on-one.
Oh, today. You get off your Nunes soapbox.
I just think that, as I said on Twitter, Nunes is probably the best finisher Liverpool's seen since Devon Lock. For those old enough to remember.
Do you know the funny thing about Nunes is, and I'm gonna say this, and some Liverpool fan I was on his channel. Shout out to Mons. Do you know what he did, Martin? He warned me. He's like, nobody's going to say anything positive about Nunes. I was about to say he cut me off and they put me in the background. They say we sold you. So the thing about Nunes is this. Yeah. Let's not just. I'm being honest. He makes those runs and they're dangerous. I get it. Let's be honest. They're dangerous runs. But I don't understand that when he gets to go, I think he does it. He's like, oh my God, I got here. What am I going to do? Do you know what I mean? Because it's quite funny. But you know what? Just going back to Haaland, I have a feeling that this guy, if whenever he gets 100% and gets sharper, the thing about him is the injuries. People are talking about them, but I think with De Bruyne and the people in this team like Gundogan and Silva, Foden, the way they find you, Bernardo Silva, the way they find you, I have a feeling that regardless the fact that he gets injured, what's going to be happening is he'll come back sharp. If he comes back sharper and better, he'll still score 2 or 3. So what's going to happen, Rich? The tally will be just going up. Even if he gets injured, he'll be just coming 3 or 4.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think he's going to get, he'll get rested a bit, though. Don't forget, we've got Argentina's World Cup winning number 9 coming back, new best young striker in the world. So
Haaland.
Haaland will get some rest, but he doesn't. I mean, to be fair, he doesn't have to run that much for City half the time.
Do you know saying that? Someone said that. Blue Out said that. One thing I liked about Haaland tonight, especially in the first half, he lost the ball. He come back and went all the way back to the halfway line to get it back.
But with Dortmund, he was going all the way back to the penalty area all the time.
Yeah, because Dortmund are crap.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the amount he probably has to. I'd love to see the stats actually, because it's a different kind of play. But with Dortmund, he was often breaking from the penalty area. He was right back and then going all the way.
Yeah, he was running around a lot. Yeah.
With City, he rarely has to go.
Last night.
Yeah.
Someone said Alvarez was back.
Yeah, the Argentina players are back. Martinez is back at United.
No, I'm sure. Charlie said Alvarez is not back. I don't think he's due to play till after Everton.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of Argentina players are back, and the big pictures have been shown already.
I do hope for Alvarez's sake that he's put on a few pounds, and that Pep's going to send him off to Weight Watchers with Phillips. Because if you've gone and won the World Cup, if you can't knock off a couple of bottles of champers and a few kebabs, then what can you do?
To be honest,
I'll be disappointed if he isn't. If he isn't overweight, I'll say he's let himself down, and the City of Manchester.
Yeah, I know. Andy's put, to be honest, Haaland can improve 50 to 70 for that scarer. He doesn't finish. That's true. Doesn't finish like Aguero. I'll give him that. If he can get that, he can score. I still think he's on course to 40 a season this year.
Yeah, no, he's going to beat the Salah one. He's going to beat the 32 Salah. The 32 and 34. Aren't she? Is it 34 or something? 34.
I think he'll score the most goals in all comps in the top flight. I think he'll beat Clive Allen, which is probably the last one who got 50 goals in top flight. Not in the league.
Yeah, but 90 Messi is not happening. 90 Messi.
Yeah, but Haaland will have to go and play in a Farmers League if he wants that. If Haaland was playing against some of the teams that Messi played against, instead of having to, you got to remember the equivalent to some of the teams Messi was playing against is Brentford, who can, beat you at home. And you don't see that in Spain. So I think Messi was, well enough advised not to go and give the Premier League a go. And maybe it's because he knew it might not be quite as easy. I don't know. But I don't think, I think he's phenomenal footballer, but he did choose when he had the chance to go to France, where you're playing easier games. So is that good management? Money, but probably good management as well.
Yeah, that's what did upset me a little bit about him, but it's his choice. Mbappe did the same thing, Rich, and people aren't slagging Mbappe off.
Well,
by the way,
Mbappe's got years. I mean, Mbappe.
Sure.
If Mbappe stays in France,
what's wrong?
If he stays in France his whole career, then everyone's got an absolute right to slag off Mbappe.
He turned Madrid down for money. Yeah. Sorry. I understand why he did it, but it still didn't sit quite comfortably with me, that one. Just want to say, Manchester City have gone up to second. They have now leapfrogged Newcastle United. 2 points ahead of him with the game in hand. They've closed the gap at the top 5.
Finally, that we have done that, because today when I went back to work, everybody was like, "Oh, the mighty Man Cities and Newcastle." Obviously, they were slagging me. Then I was like, "Oh, finally."
Hey, but before we shoot, Rich, your man of the match.
I quite liked. I don't know that I'd call one. I thought De Bruyne played well. I thought that Lewis played very well, and I thought Stones played very well. But I can't find that much to fault with Kanji and Ake either. But I'll go with Stones or Lewis, because De Bruyne's always that good.
Patrick?
Mine was Rodri. He keeps impressing, and I saw something today where somebody was, you know where it's reached now. You know when there was a fight saying Fabinho, Rodri, and people were like Fabinho. That fight is gone. Today, I even saw after the performance by Casemiro, pundits and everybody are still saying they would pick Rodri as the best CDM in the world right now over Casemiro, no matter what performance. Rodri has become something, I think, more physical. I don't know where that has come from. He used to be clean, smart. He would do the fouls, but no fight. Now it's like he's physical. He's in your face. He's dropping into centre back today. I saw he dropped into centre back, and he told I don't know. I think he told Ake to go forward, and he dropped in. And you could see he was pointing at Ake that you go forward. He dropped in. I just think that centre back thing by Enrique has turned Rodri into a more physical, angrier CDM, and it's good. And thank God, as Rich says, he's learned the Fernandinho antics, which Phillips has to learn soon, where you pretend as if you're also hurt and you stand up, smile,
Do you think?
walk away.
Do you think Rodri might get angry enough to untuck his shirt one game?
He is super. No, I've got to say, Rodri was the Rolls Royce. Brad spot on. Zahabe is also spot on. He's the Uruguayan Chris Wood. Don't say that.
I'm not. Don't slag off Chris Wood.
There we go.
The signing of
reason Newcastle
22.
went on their big
The
run.
signing of 22. He was
Jesus
relegated
Christ.
Burnley.
Just
Saved Newcastle.
behave. Get off the Chris Wood. Stop it. Anyway, I've just got a quick note. The Leeds goal. Ederson, completely not at fault, was a great header.
It was a great header.
My only issue with that goal was there wasn't anyone closing him down.
Haaland and Akanji could have stopped that, though.
Yes. Akanji needs to go back. Since Akanji's played at right back at Brighton,
yeah,
he's done that. And I don't know whether it was getting done against Brighton so much that destroyed his confidence. I don't know. But he's still learning, so we still got to give him time. I think a left back's what's required now, because I think Gomez is not ready. He's nowhere near ready. I think we know that. We need a left back. That is, I wouldn't be surprised if it is Gavardio. Don't mean for now, for the summer. And he'll play a left centre back as a full back, because he plays it for Leipzig. So for me, having all signed.
You may also see Ake playing out there.
Ake as well, yeah. No, I do think we'll sign a.
I think that may happen. I think, yeah. But it's no. I think it was all in all. You can't knock it, can you? Yeah,
no,
and you can't. And Ake's doing all right. Akanji in Germany, his heading was his weakness. He was up there. He was up there in tackles and passing from the
and
back
speed.
But his heading stats were awful. He was not in the top 20 German defenders. So I don't think he's ever going to be good in the air. I think we have to accept that he is going to be aerially much weaker than the other four centre backs we have.
Yeah. Oh, Andy, if you go in, by all means, send us a DM, mate. We'll meet up at the game if you want, and have a bevy if you want, brother. Just before we go, Andy's got a very quick question before we're going to leave him. Pepper signed another 2-year contract. Do you think, one, that will be it after the 2 years? That's a grenade. That's a whole new stream in itself. Or two, who comes in?
Well, I think Pep's with us until he goes and becomes England manager. That's what Pep is going to go and manage England. So
do you think he's going to take the Spanish job though?
No, I don't think with a Catalonian like him. I think politically, no way the Madrid establishment would put Pep as Spain's manager. He's a Catalonian nationalist. He doesn't actually believe in Spain. He believes in Catalonian independence.
He doesn't believe in the
So,
Spanish.
so I
No.
don't think that's possible. I always thought there was 3 jobs for Pep after City, and it's Holland to go and do what Cruyff never did, and if I thought that was an option. Brazil, but I think political instability in Brazil might put him off actually wanting to live there, or the England job, becoming the manager who got England the first World Cup after '66. So, and if you ask me about those 3 now, I'd say the England job after the next Euros.
If City haven't won the Champions League in 2 years, he stays.
Possibly, yeah. But I think it'll be international football, and I think he will want a new challenge. And especially if we keep signing young English stars, like if we can get Bellingham, we can get Saka, he could go into England with a core of 6, 7 City players that he's trained over 2 years.
He's planning his role for England international here. Hey, listen, at the end of the day...
And Pep's already won a World Cup for Spain. Pep's already won a World Cup for Spain.
Just enjoy
in 2010.
And for Germany, when he was in Germany, they won the cup.
He's won, and he wants one for himself now, not one that he hands to someone else.
Yeah.
If none of this nonsense about international football, if Pep does leave, there's only one man for the job for me.
You talk about the guy down at Bristol Rovers.
Enrique
Joey Barton.
I
Enrique?
wouldn't have Joey Barton if you slap him now.
The Spanish manager?
Bad nothing flashing his ass and everything else. Like,
would you take the Spanish manager?
The former Spanish manager now. Luis Enrique.
Wait, he's gone. They sacked him.
How did you not know? He left the Spanish job.
I wasn't watching the World Cup that much.
Luis Enrique is the only guy.
Only guy.
Not Brendan Rodgers. Please delete that comment, Charlie.
No, they're doing that on purpose because I used to be on the Brendan Rodgers hype train.
No.
The only guy at the moment.
Sam Allardyce, and he'll get that.
Is managing Arsenal.
Oh, get off!
Come on. No.
Jesus.
No.
Pep has been.
Right, why don't we have Vieira as his number 2? Vincent Kompany as first team coach.
I think
Gundogan as the medical assistant.
As defensive coach.
Pep clearly thinks, as do Cheeky and Soriano, that Arteta was the best young coach in world football, which is why Pep trusted so much in him, and he went off to show he could do it on his own. And at the moment, so far this season, you can't knock it. So
Kompany's too soon.
I would say Arteta would be 15 lengths clear going to the final fence if it was a horse race for City's next manager.
I love Vinny as a first team coach. As a manager, he needs more than just a Burnley job.
You know what I'd love? If
he
comes
would have
to
to
City,
come in as assistant.
Yeah. If he comes to City as an assistant, I wanted that. I wanted him to come as that, but I don't think he will come now. If he takes Burnley to the Premier League, I don't think he will. But he would have reached. That would have been great. I was wishing he did that. He came in, did that. I think could have given him a bit of a boost. But anyway, Arteta, I don't know about Arteta. Okay, look. Let's see this season. Let's see what he does. So far, Arsenal.
I've not have a job yet. Cheers, Andy, with your little grenade.
Arsenal are scaring me, to be honest with you, Martin. I was laughing at them. I was laughing at them as a joke. Yesterday, something clicked in my head. I was like, oh, these guys have got a spark. And I was like, do you know who's to blame for this spark? City. Too cocky. Oh, we're going to train you a manager. Then we're going to give you Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko. And here's the winning mentality. I think we got too cocky.
City take Arsenal serious, then I have no worries about Manchester.
That's the thing. I think we have
City start thinking, oh, it's only Arsenal will drop, like the fans think.
It won't happen.
Then we have a problem.
Yeah.
As long as Pep is keeping, we have to take these boys serious, then we're laser focused.
Yeah,
I think he is, though, because he said it in his press that the team that's better than us this season is Arsenal. And he said it again. Yeah. He said it again.
Blame Andy, Charlie. Don't blame me. I didn't throw the question in.
The player I really reckon that I think for Arsenal this year has been exceptional as Odegaard.
Oh,
I think he is.
I would love him
I
at
think
City.
he is making Arsenal tick, and I think
You
we
want a bit
may
of the
have.
Norwegian international side there. De Bruyne out and Odegaard's his replacement.
Well, Odegaard could come in and replace
Oh,
Gundo.
that's a shout, you know. Odegaard in for De Bruyne.
Odegaard outside City. I can't think of a player who's played better this season in the Premier League.
Can I throw a
outside
bomb too? Can I
than
throw a
Odegaard.
bomb too? A bomb through. What if Arsenal try this title push, they fail, right? And then maybe they fail again to get in the Champions League as they do in the past. Something like that happens. Saka hasn't signed his extension. A few of the players, even Martinelli, haven't signed extension. Let's say that happens. They fail. Odegaard has had a good season, and then City in summer say, "Odegaard, come over here." If they fail to make top four, they just have a 4 down as they
God,
always do.
they're not making top 4 now. They were winning the league 5 minutes.
No, I'm just saying it's just a grenade. Do you think he would say no if City come calling for him?
No, of course he wouldn't. And do you know what? And this is the beauty of this season's Premier League, is it's not impossible Arsenal could come 6th. It's not impossible at all. There are good teams down. Chelsea. Yeah, but Arsenal could win it. But I just think that Odegaard has been the player who, I guess he was really, really, really hyped when he was young, but he kind of lost a few years. But he is now showing every bit of that potential he had as a kid.
He's pulling the strings, yeah.
Yeah, I think he is Arsenal's most important player at the moment. And, he is, we need him to lose a bit of form.
And a lot of Arsenal fans thought it was Emile Smith-Rowe that was going to be the guy who come through and would do it. And Colonel Ward knows, but Odegaard is a quality player.
He is.
And I'm partly joking about that De Bruyne replacement. I would have Odegaard tomorrow as a KDB replacement, but Bellingham is my number one. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up there.
Martin, why not both of them? We need to replace over the next couple of years.
Because I want to get Grealish into the midfield.
We'll have to replace De Bruyne and Gundogan.
No, we don't.
Why not Bellingham for De Bruyne and then Odegaard for Gundogan?
And
then Haaland's going to be like, well, why? I'm, no point in leaving now. I've got my best mate Oddie and my best mate Belly playing behind me, so he'll sign a new 20-year contract to stay around.
Doesn't have a release clause.
Yeah, no release. No, $1 billion release clause.
Hey, apparently, just before we end on this, we're going to end in about 30 seconds. Apparently, Bellingham has a £60 million release clause. It's funny how City always find these secret release clauses in players.
No way.
Weird how you find all this.
Wait, he has? He has? Wow.
We don't know yet, but it was all reported. It came from, I think it was either Jack Gorn or someone else that apparently has got a secret. I think Sam Lee said it as well. No, that's Sam Lee's reliable. I'll get Andy started now when I mention Sam Lee. Apparently, he has got a £60 million release clause quietly.
That's still a profit for Dortmund. Let's not forget they didn't buy him for that much.
And you like a release clause.
I know they do. Oh, and another thing, just a hint, Martin.
There you go. There you go, Pat. 63 million if you pay it all in one.
Yeah. Do you know? You've noticed this, Martin and Rich. I was just reading the reports. Do you remember how Liverpool were being linked highly with Jude? Right now, reports are their bid has been rejected by Benfica. It keeps getting reported by another
Enzo.
For Enzo that I've told them they don't want 100 million. They want them to pay the East Coast of 120. Do you think maybe
Chelsea's gone above it?
Yeah. Do you think maybe somebody has clicked Jude and Liverpool? No, we're not gonna get Jude. That somebody has already done it.
If you ask personally, I think Jude's dumb. I think Jude's dumb.
I don't think he was. Honestly, I don't think Jude was ever going to get Liverpool. I just don't think as a midfielder.
Don't tell Anfield agenda.
No. As a midfielder,
he's nailed it on.
You'll be on Red TV next instead of Algerian TV.
As a midfielder, why would you sign for Liverpool? I could get him going to Madrid, and I think the word out of Germany is still that it's City or Madrid. you know.
Well,
And
Madrid keep flip flopping. One day they want him, the next day they don't.
Why
Then they
does
want him, then
that's
they don't.
because-
Madrid want
that's
him, the
because-
Romanian Camavinga?
because Madrid don't really know, because they don't know if they're going to go and get Mbappe or not, and that's the truth.
That's a good point.
Mbappe's a €1 billion deal for Madrid,
Yeah.
and he was off, but now apparently, you know, it may be back on again. But if they sign Mbappe, they're going to have to spend 200 million, 250 million on him. They're then going to have to pay him probably
100,
50 million, 100 million a year.
50
So-
to his mom,
so-
50 to his mom, 50 to his
Yeah.
dad. Yeah.
So I just think they don't have the, until they know what's happening with Mbappe, they can't do anything. And it was a bit like them with Haaland last year. I think they never really went properly for Haaland because they never knew whether Mbappe was coming. And so Madrid have been a bit of a mess until they make up their mind, are we signing Mbappe or not? And if they
Yeah.
say never
And-
Mbappe, or they sign him, then they can start doing things.
Please smash that like button, please, on your way out. I will. The only thing I did say somewhat wrong. The reason why I don't think City have ever been in for Enzo is one simple thing. City could have got him for €20 million 3 months ago. City don't then decide 3 months later we're going to pay £120 million release clause.
Did you hear
City don't do that. City aren't stupid. You don't go, oh, we could have got a guy for €20 million 3 months ago. Now we'll wait 3 months and spend 120 million. City don't do that. City have already made their decision on Enzo, and as much as he's a great player, it ain't. He's not on the list because City aren't stupid. You know that, Pat. They don't get the chance to buy someone for €20 million, and then 3 months later go and spend like 6 times that amount on the same player. They don't do that. They would have took the chance 3-4 months ago. If they
Well,
thought it was
Benfica were smart to do that. Go get
Exactly.
him for less
We
than
were.
400, yeah.
But for me, it's because Enzo was never the target. There's been one target for that midfield, and we're going to sing "Hey Jude" as loud as we can around that Etihad Stadium.
We need a Manchester version.
Are we looking at another 100 mil on Jude? Is that what we're looking at?
No. If we pay it all in one go, you're looking about 60.
I hope it's not. I drop in another 100. My God.
City aren't silly. Anyway, yes, don't forgive it to guys. Thank you very much, Andy.
And then can we just go and sign Saka then? He doesn't sign his new contract.
Will you stop?
Go. How about
I'm
imagine this?
Get Arsenal fans,
Mahrez fans,
Liverpool fans.
We could have Saka, Odegaard, Bellingham, and Gvardiol all into our.
Can I just announce to everyone, Rich is a co-owner of this channel as well. So don't all come after me. Rich is also a co-owner of this channel. So please go after Rich as well.
Yeah.
Because it ain't just me. Don't all bring your attention to Martin. Rich is co-owner. Go after him as well.
Yeah, Algerians, you heard that. It's not only Martin. Rich.
Yeah, don't come after me. Him up there and Ozzy, but Ozzy.
Yeah.
Anyway, big thank you. Go on, Rich.
Everyone in Algeria knows of my deep true love for Ali Benarbia, the greatest player.
Ali.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I have absolute man love for him.
Rich, your daughter's not happy with you.
I know she wants me to go shopping now.
Anyway, right, big thank you to Rich. I'll let you go, mate. Thank you for joining us.
Cheerio.
Thank you, Pat.
Nice
Go
to
and
meet you,
subscribe.
Nice to meet you guys.
True City fan, Antivated Games TV. We are back tomorrow, 8:30. We are back tomorrow, yes. We are going to be live with an Everton preview. We have JSGC live on the channel tomorrow. He's going to be coming on and gracing us with his presence.
Wait, when is the Everton game? These games are coming.
New Year's Eve. No, honestly, mate, get your streams rolling because we're going every 3 days.
I can't manage.
Literally buckle in.
I can't. Oh my God, I'll be watching you when I'm working. I'll be watching.
You know what time I started streaming today?
I saw you watch along. I saw it was on my phone.
7
It told me
o'clock.
on my phone. Yeah, it told me
It's
on my
now
phone.
12:30 and I'm just finishing.
Jesus Christ, man!
This is like the old Man City fan TV days.
Yeah, I remember there was a time when those transfers when Raheem, Zinchenko. I think I did 7 streams one day, one after the other. I had them in stream, just jump over. No, it's draining though. It's draining. But anyway, it is part of
I
the
love it.
hustle, you know.
I
It's
love
part
it.
of the hustle.
Absolutely
It's
love it.
amazing. It's always good.
Yeah,
it's
go and
always
give
good.
Pat a lot of love. Go and give Mate a lot of love. I'm off to bed, like Andy said. Thank you to everyone. Steve, listen, it's your channel. You deserve it. We'll be back tomorrow 8:30 with an Everton preview. And then post-match, I'll let you know because it is New Year's Eve. So the post-match for Everton will probably be moved to New Year's Day. Because New Year's Eve, I am not. I've got my parents coming round for a party, look, they get together. Thank you. Is that to Blue Art or to me? I don't know.
I think every YouTuber, you will not see them on the 31st unless
yeah. I'll send out a YouTube short, but we'll do the post-match New Year's Day.
Nice to meet you, Blue Art, and everybody in the channel. I hope you had a happy.
Appreciate that, Pat.
And give a like to this man, Mancunian way, and subscribe, guys. Get him to 1,000. Get him to 1,000. I even say this on my channel. Get this man to 1,000. Let this man. He deserves it, man. He's hard work. He started at 7 today. This is 12:30, and he's only going to bed right now. And when he's in bed, he'll be dreaming about the next stream. Get him to it.
You're sounding like Andy now. This is what Andy used to say about that. You don't switch off. No, you got to. No, I'm going down to my parents now to sort all them out. Anyway, big thank you, Andrew, Dudley, everyone. Andy, send us a DM and we'll catch up at the game on Saturday, mate. We'll have a bevy if you want. Take care. Go and show a lot of love, and we'll see you on the next one tomorrow, 8:30, live on the Mancunian way. Myself, they are Ozzy and JSGC. See you all tomorrow. Take care, Blues.